Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So we are to recite a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11th. This verse is from the section where Krishna and Uddhava are speaking to each other. This is
Prabhu, is it Vayopabhukta Shraddham Vasulanta?
sorry?
Is it about enjoying the remnants of Krishna?
Yes. You know what is the number of that verse?
So it's 11,646.
11,646. Oh, thank you. Yes. So we'll just recite this verse. त्वयोपभुक्ता स्रगगन्धा वासो वासोऽलङ्कार चर्चिता उच्छिष्टभोजिनो दासास् तव मायां जयेमहि. Would any devotee like to read the translation?
Simply by decorating ourselves with the garlands, fragrant oils, clothes, and ornaments that you have already enjoyed, and by eating the remnants of your meals, we, your servants, will indeed conquer your illusory energy.
So in this verse, Uddhava is glorifying. So this is we're discussing about Uddhava today in our series. So Uddhava is glorifying in this verse how Krishna, what to say of you, even a simple article, a simple object, anything which is enjoyed by you, when accepted by others, it becomes the very cause of their liberation. He is glorifying in such a way that simply by decorating ourselves with the garlands, fragrant oils, clothes, ornaments, So see what, like, he's beginning with garlands, like the simplest of the things, available anywhere and everywhere. It's very less money. Then fragrant oils, again, it's a natural thing. Just you pick up some groundnuts, or you pick up some uh, many natural things. Just have with little process, you can get oil out of them. Then clothes, okay. Again, clothes are also just coming from the natural substances originally, and ornaments. So they may be a little costly, but again, they are available. The minerals are available, gold and other things. So that you have already enjoyed. So once you have enjoyed, and if we accept it, like we eat the remnants of your meals, this is food. We, your servants, will indeed conquer your illusory energy. Purport, it is clear from this verse that Uddhava is not approaching the Lord for liberation from the illusory energy. As a personal confidential associate of Lord Krishna, Uddhava was undoubtedly a completely liberated soul. He is praying to the Lord because he cannot bear the thought of living without Krishna even for a moment. This feeling is called love of God. Uddhava is addressing the Lord as follows: even if your illusionary energy tries to attack us, my Lord, we will very easily conquer her by our powerful weapons, which are the remnants of your foodstuffs, clothes, ornaments, and so on. In other words, we will easily conquer our Maya by Krishna Prasadam and not by useless speculation and mental concoction. So, who is this Uddhava? Hmm? So this Uddhava, he is that personality who comes in Bhagavatam in several cantos. In the third canto, Uddhava is very, very celebratedly, he is introduced like the first time as a major character in Bhagavatam. And he is introduced with this verse of Aho Bakiyam Stanakala. It- this verse comes in that discussion. So Uddhava is not an ordinary person. Okay, he's very special. In fact, he looked like Krishna, and he's a disciple of Brihaspati. Mm. So he's extremely knowledgeable. When Krishna wanted advice in Dwarka, when he was ruling, when he had his responsibilities, when there were so many millions and millions of people's lives at stake, Krishna would consult Uddhava, and he would take his words very seriously. And at the very end of Krishna's pastime, when he was about to leave back for Goloka Vrindavan, he made Uddhava his messenger to his very family members, the Brajvasis. In that way, Uddhava is very special. So, Uddhava's childhood was Krishna addicted childhood. And if you listen, throat is a little down. So, Uddhava's childhood was Krishna addicted childhood. Like people play with games, no, like Xbox and PlayStation, and what you must be knowing, like many games there in US. So he used to play with Krishna dolls. That's all. And there's nothing else he knew. Then I made some short, quick points here. So, like, in fact, about Uddhava, there are books written separately. There is a book written by one of the Goswamis called Uddhava Sandesh. Like there is a book written separately about Govardhan, right? Haridas. There are very few personalities are there to take the Lord's Leela on whom or on whose one pastime an entire book may be written. Our His Holiness Gaur Govind Maharaj was one of the most exalted disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So he wrote a book when Mathura meets Vrindavan. So this book is based on this Uddhava Sandesh, written by Rup Sanatan Goswami. And if you see many poets in Braja, in Vrindavan, many great Vaishnava saints, even out of our sampradaya, they are always glorifying Uddhava. In fact, there are poems written about Uddhava. The great poet Surdas, he has written about Uddhava. Mm. So, like Uddhava is a personality who is discussed by so many exalted Vaishnavas, and his glorification is very exalted. Like so many of his pastimes are in concern in regards to gopis. So Uddhava is talking to Krishna about Radharani, and he's telling like how Radharani is actually talking to anyone and everyone about Krishna. When Uddhava visited Vrindavan, he was amazed. He was amazed that those people, they are so Krishna conscious that practically even if you go and beat all your music bands, around them, all they can think of is Krishna. See, we are so distracted now. Like we are easily distracted. But these people of Vrindavan, they're not distracted only. You know one thing, bro? Like even after 112 years of Krishna's going away from Vrindavan, 113 years, like 125 years when Krishna was. So Krishna went away from Vrindavan somewhere between 11 to 12, okay, of age. So when Krishna was 125, that means around 113 years after Krishna's going away from Vrindavan. So even after that, these gopis were cooking meals every day for Krishna, like in the morning, and they were placing their pots in such a way that may Krishna come and steal them. When Uddhava saw this, like they're waiting whole day for Krishna to come, that he'll come and take the meal. And every day they're making fresh preparations. And with excitement, they are discussing in the evening, what will we make tomorrow? He was gone actually. He was like, all his knowledge came to a halt. He started considering himself like an atheist. He thought, I don't know Krishna. How much do I know Krishna? How much do I love? If I would have known Krishna properly, he says, if I would have known Krishna properly, I would have fallen in love with him. I don't, I don't love Krishna. Look at them. They spent only 11 years with Krishna, and even those years contain like consist of when Krishna was very small baby. And me, I spent like more than a century with Krishna. And just look at their love for Krishna. And you know, see Rupa Goswami, he talks about like the love of Radharani to be very very great and exalted. You know, he says that this love of Radharani was like a lion, and love of the gopis, that is like elephant. Why he's comparing like that? See, lion may be small, but he's smaller than elephant, but he's very powerful. Okay, and Radharani had to face a lot of obstacles. Radharani and the gopis, they had to face lots of obstacles, like their own family members, the customs of the society, and they had competitors. Like there was a Chandravali and other group. Hmm. So, uh, so there when they had this love na, for Krishna, and then they would go, the simple ladies of Vrindavan, when they would be willing to go against all the obstacles. So Shukdev Goswami explained that that would win the heart of Krishna like anything. And when Uddhava was being witness to such love of these gopis were lying. Okay, they were just lying on the road when Akrura was taking Krishna and Balram to Mathura. And they said that if you are willing to drive the chariot over our bodies, then yes, you can take Krishna and Balram. So they were not like joking, knowing that okay, this guy will anyways not do it. No, it's not like that. Because they felt that what is the use of our lives if that life is without Krishna? So Uddhava felt that why am I still alive? He felt, why am I still alive? Like I don't feel that separation of Krishna. You know, I'm not affected by it that much. Why? That means I don't have love for Krishna. So that is the limit to which Uddhava was feeling about it. So there is a lot of glorification. If you go to Govardhan, like our Vaisheshika Prabhu always goes to Govardhan every Kartik. He loves to read there. Because great devotees take shelter at Govardhan. It is considered the highest place in the creation. Even like within the Mathura Mandal, which is the greatest tract of land in the entire universe. And even within the Mathura Mandal, the Braj Mandal, even within the Braj Mandal, this Govardhan. So there is a small place where Uddhavaji is residing as Gulmalata, like a small creeper. And his prayer, his aspiration is that one day the gopis would step over me, step over my head. An entire Vrindavan is filled with many many great souls desiring that, isn't it? Like Brahmaji is like he is in the form of those four hills of Barsana. So they are the four heads of Brahma. Then Lord Shiva is that Nandi hill there in Nand Bhavan, okay, in Nandagaon where Krishna lived. So where Radharani lived in her childhood, that is Lord Brahma, and Lord Shiva is where Krishna lived in Nand Bhavan, and here Uddhava is there. And even Lakshmi ji is doing tapasya na, to be allowed to enter Rasalila. So these are such glorious great souls. Na? They are just wanting to be like under the blessings of Brajavasis. And just a second. Okay, no, medicine क्या? Yes. The room में and that Prabhu na Brajmana Prabhu. Just collect something you wanted to give me. So please, I'll accept it. You can keep it. So, so if you see, like in the Vedic custom, na, in the Vedic society, like a junior or a younger person always looks forward to receive the dust or blessings from the elder person. I remember when I was a child, so like we were taught as soon as you see an elder na, you bow down and you collect the blessings from by touching their feet. It was like, that like you have to do this. You always do this. The place where Kautukarnapu is from in India, I think there also, no? Correct, na, bro?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's not so much there. Like I see the younger generation, na? My brother's children and all, like it's not there like that now. But it was like that in our times. It was really like that. So entire Bhagavatam is also filled with this. Like you see, Prahlad Maharaj says, Mahi Asam Pada Rajobhishekam. Then Jada Bharat says, Vina Mahat Pada Rajobhishekam. You know? This Pada Raja Abhishekam. This you will find many places like Prithu Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Jada Bharat. Okay. Many places you'll find this. That language may go here and there, huh? But these keywords will always be there. Why? Because this is natural for a person. See, this is a sign of humility, and this is a sign of a great aspiration that I want to serve you. I want to, like, you're so great. And why are you great? Because you love Krishna, and because Krishna loves you. So, ऐसे ब्रजवासी बोलते हैं, like, oh, sorry, English. Like Brajavasis say like this when you visit their home, na, okay, or when they are inviting to you to their home. So many times I have seen personally. You know how they say? I'll tell you in Hindi how they say. They say in Braj Bhasha. They'll say, Maharaj, आपके श्री चरण हमारे घर में पधारिए. They will say that, they'll not invite you. They're inviting you, but how they invite you is they're inviting your lotus feet. They are telling like, your lotus feet, like please. Actually, in some cultures na, in the world, they invite the butt of the person. It is so. The first time when I heard na, in some culture, like they're inviting the butt of the person, they say like that. Please bring your butt. I was thinking it is so different from a Vedic culture. Na? In Vedic culture, they invite the lotus feet. Right? In fact, even Krishna is telling in one chapter where Shrutadeva and Bahulashva, they are there. So when Krishna and all the sages they are sitting in the house of Shrutadev, so they say, sorry, Krishna says to Bahulashva, Krishna says to Shrutadev that Shrutadev, today your house is purified. Today your house has become the greatest pilgrimage place on the planet. Why? Because your house is visited by these great saints and their lotus feet have entered your house. There are many like pious businessmen and like who are very like, very rich and very successful. So they have this idea of like in the lotus feet of great souls, if they enter and they're just placed there, so then that place is purified. So Prabhupada's father, Abhay De, Prabhupada's name was, his father's name was Gaur Mohan. So he used to always regularly invite sadhus and he used to say that, just that your lotus feet should be placed in my home, and then we should be allowed to serve you. So this is so special actually. Now, who is doing this? Here, Uddhava is doing this. Uddhava is, when he saw the character of Brajavasis, when he saw the love of gopis. you know. Actually, I was thinking to little bit talk about the love of the gopis for Krishna, but it'll take time. So I just, because just one analogy I can share, which is given by our Goswamis. You see, water is a very attractive element of nature. When you see water in a lake, when you see water in ocean, when you see when you see rains, like it's all very nice, isn't it? So he says, like, love of God in any form is very nice. In any flavor, it's very nice. So whether it is vatsalya rasa, whether it is shanti rasa, dasya rasa, sakya rasa, but he says amongst all the waters, which is the most attractive form of water? Can you say, bro? Can anyone say what is the most attractive form of water? Like everyone wants to go and be at such a place. Think about it. Like I think we all also do the same. We all want to go to. If you are given like the choice, like you can go to any place which has a lot of water, okay, but a particular form. Which form of water body we like to go to?
Prabhuji Ocean.
Yeah, we like, so all are attractive, but think about the most attractive. Actually, we don't get to go much to such places. That's why it doesn't come to the mind.
No,
Huh?
The threefold bending form with the flute.
No, no, Prabhu, that is form of Krishna. I am saying form of a water body. Like if you are given a
Oh,
choice, hmm,
okay, my bad.
yeah, okay.
no, Deva thinks no.
Huh?
Deva Prabhu thinks
Snow. Okay. Okay, Prabhu, like more than the snow also, no? Generally, if you take a common pool, then you will find waterfalls. Waterfalls, like from the cliffs. They are the most attractive. See, waterfalls people go, they want to see it more than river also. I think in your America there is like that Nile, not Nile, one very big waterfall is there. Some I don't know the
Niagara,
name.
Prabhuji.
Niagara Falls, Niagara Falls, correct. So actually people go, na, especially to for waterfall. That it looks very very attractive. Even from that cliff, the water falls and that it splits into those white. So, Madhurya Ras in separation, like the gopis love, that is compared to that. That it is that water which is falling from the cliffs in the form of a waterfall, and it is super attractive. So, sorry for my health. In fact, Krishna says that when I take bath in the dust of the lotus feet of my great devotees, I get purified. Krishna says, I become qualified to be worshipped by all the conditioned souls because my great devotees, they love me. Can you imagine like Krishna saying such things? And Krishna means it, you know. So see, now you come to Uddhava. What is Uddhava desiring? What is he praying for? Now I told you a little background of Uddhava. Uddhava was born, the greatest dynasty, obviously the dynasty of the Yadus. He was a cousin of Krishna. He looked like Krishna, look-alike, literally look-alike of Krishna. Now, if you give Kaustuba jewel to this guy Uddhava, he's like Krishna only. Only that is the thing which separates. Of course, he doesn't put peacock feather. So that's also one thing. And Uddhava is disciple of, yeah, I mean, he's the most knowledgeable person. It is a disciple of the Brihaspati himself, most knowledgeable possible demigod in entire universe. So he's a disciple, he's a prime disciple of Brihaspati. Then Uddhava is like position wise also he is very great because he's the most intimate friend and the most intimate advisor of Krishna. Okay, like from the political point of view or from the world point of view also he was like that. Then Uddhava was skilled, highly skilled. So if you go on taking his qualifications, it's very high. Spiritually speaking, he was Krishna addicted. Like he would not play any game except like Krishna dolls or this or that, something related to Krishna only. So he was like the best of anything you can think of, and he is thinking in front of the Vrindavan Vasis that he doesn't know Krishna. He's not seen Krishna. There is a verse in which he says, "I saw Krishna, but it seems I never saw Krishna." Otherwise, how can I survive without seeing Krishna? so so you see, the acharyas are glorifying the dust of Vrindavan. Why? Because the dust of Vrindavan is loaded with the dust from the lotus feet of all the Brajvasis. So it is so great that Krishna, as a small baby, would every day eat the dust of Vrindavan, isn't it? And then Yashoda Maya would catch him. Hey, my little son, it's not healthy for you to eat the Braj Rajna, to eat the dust. Krishna would say, this is the most tasty thing. So sometimes Yashoda Maya would ask, I am making for you such tasty food items. I am making for you all the sweets out of milk. I am making for you all this yogurt. I am making for you all the delicacies from so many vegetables, from so many grains. And you have to eat this dust every day. Don't you understand? You have grown up so much. And Krishna is smiling naughtily. He is thinking, Acharyas are telling, he is thinking, what does this Maya understand? The glory of dust of Vrindavan. Because she is placing her own lotus feet in the dust of Vrindavan. So it is so great. So actually, according to Krishna also, Brajraj is so great. Why? Because devotees, the devotees of Vrindavan are placing their lotus feet there. So now Uddhava is thinking, I am not that great that I'll ever be allowed to receive the dust of lotus feet of Brajvasis. But I want it. I'm not qualified for it, but I want it. So how will it happen? So I have to make arrangement. So he's offering a prayer. So first he thinks that let me become a tree. Because if I become a tree, then someday the Brajvasi may climb upon me. No, no, no. But the tree is like very big now, very prominent. So he thinks, no, not tree. Then he thinks, okay, if not Vriksha, then Gulma. Gulma is like um, uh, in Hindi they call it jhad. What do you call it, bro? Bush, bush, yeah, bush, bush. So like a bushy thing. So sometimes, like when they're roaming around, they may pass through and they may hit it by their feet. No, no, no. Gulm is also too much, and I may not get like properly their feet. He thinks no. Then he says Lata. So Lata is that creeper, like a very thin creeper which just spreads anywhere. So sometimes it is even like you cannot make out a difference between the little creeper uh, on the ground and the general ground also. I think just outside our device na, where Kautukarna and Dev Prasanna were sitting. Just outside, like where we walk na, bro, towards the temple. On the either side, there are this very, I don't know whether they are called creeper, but they are very.
So she said that then,
Krishna.
yeah,
So
yeah, they
those
will be there.
creepers, na, sorry?
But they are there, yeah, at the entrance. So,
Yeah. So there I remember like when I was there, so sometimes while just talking on phone or something, I'm just walking out now. So I would step there like so I noticed myself that I would not be conscious of like should I step on them or not because they're almost like part of ground only, you know. So something like that, if you go and see in that place na, Uddhava temple, Uddhava Kyari, it is called. It's on the uh, like in the Govardhan area. When you do parikrama, it comes in the bigger parikrama mark, like on the right hand side, at one place. So there the deity of Uddhava is also there. So there you can see those lata, Gulma lata. There Uddhava is residing. Why? Because he wants the dust of the lotus feet of gopis. Very very glorious. Hmm. So too much stuff I thought I'll share. The time is going. Okay, one or two things I want to share more at least. So one thing is that you see, Prabhu, Uddhava is not seeing the gopis. I mean, there were so many ways to see gopis in which he could have felt gopis as inferior and himself as superior. Like you see, he could have seen gopis, if you see from Varnashram point of view, he could have seen gopis as Vaishya, like they are Vaishya ladies, and he was a Kshatriya, okay, and he had qualities like that of a Brahmana also. So he could have seen like that. Second way of seeing was like Gopi were younger to him in age. He didn't see like that. Third way of seeing was he was of royal dynasty and they were of ordinary, very ordinary, simple lineages. Fourth way of seeing was he was very rich and like he was richer than the entire Braja, all people put together. He didn't see like that. Fifth was knowledge. He was like, I mean, there was nobody other than Krishna was greater than him in knowledge on entire planet. So where is the question of gopis? So he didn't see like that. Okay. Then he like there were so many ways he could have seen the gopis as inferior. There are so many ways, and he was the messenger of Krishna. They were not. He was supposed to pacify them, but he didn't do that actually. So actually, Rupa Goswami says that this is how we are supposed to be. When we come in contact with the devotees of Krishna, so we are supposed to be like so much touched and overwhelmed by their love that we don't see their material qualification or disqualification. We don't see like materially they may have fault also. They may not wear dress properly or they may not have a proper language, but they have love for Krishna. And when we are affected by that love, when we are because that's the only thing which matters spiritually. So then we want to go out and spread that same love of Krishna. That is how Uddhava is considered extremely glorious, as we were discussing in the beginning. Like so many great poets, so many great saints are talking about him. There are scriptures, there are like books written about him, only about him. And and Uddhava says in one prayer, he finally says to Krishna, okay, at one place, he says, Krishna, you make me anything in Vrindavan. I don't mind. You make me anything. He says, there is a prayer given by Prabhu Saraswati. So he says, Kopi Syam, Trina, Gulma, Padapa, Lata, Valli, Vasashena, Kapota, Kokila, Bharadwaja, Barhishu, Gau, Simha, Dvipa, Hadaga, Shallaka, you know, Vrinda, Lakku. Actually, he goes on saying so many things. So, what all he says? He says, like, you make me a blade of grass, you make me a bush, you make me a creeper, you make me a tree, no problem. You make me a vine, like in the waters, Valli. You make me an eagle, Vasashena. You make me a pigeon, Kapota. You make me a koyal, okay, cuckoo. You make me a parrot. You make me a skylark, Haradwaj. You make me a like a cow. You make me a lion. Okay, you make me an elephant. You make me a rhino, Khadga. You make me a porcupine also, Shallaka. So he goes on like, you make me anything. Something you make me in Vrindavan so that I get their association and mercies. But he says, don't make me a human being. Why does he say that actually? Because he says, if you make me a human being and if I go and leave the association of these devotees, I go outside Vrindavan, that'll be like, that'll be the greatest misfortune of my life. So he says, you do anything with me, but you keep me in Vrindavan. So Acharyas explained that, which means no achievement of this material world should be attractive to a devotee to take him outside the association of devotees or to take him outside the radar of his spiritual master. That is how he should value. He should adjust material circumstances of his life, material factors of his life, so as to support and assist the spiritual factors of it, not the other way around. That, you know, I want the material factors to be changed like this, therefore the spiritual factors should adjust themselves, or whatever best is feasible, I'll do that much only. So, so it's like so great. So there is I'll conclude with a small saying in Hindi. In Braj they say, दीनेर अधिक दया करे भगवान, पंडित कुलीन धनी बड़ा अभिमान. I'll again repeat this. दीनेर अधिक दया करे भगवान, पंडित कुलीन धनी बड़ा अभिमान. Says that दीनेर अधिक दया करे भगवान. One who is more humble, one who is more meek, one who is wanting to serve and assist the devotees who are dear to Krishna. On them, Krishna is very, very merciful, extremely and extra merciful. Diner adhik daya kare Bhagavan. And opposite is also given, like Pandita Kulina Dhani Bada Abhiman. Pandita means very learned person, very learned, very talented, okay, very accomplished person. Then Kulina matlab very highly placed person, very highly positioned person, very uh, politically powerful, born of a very great parentage or something, and Dhani, very rich, very, very rich, very sophisticated, very uh, whatever. So these people, even Kunti Maharani says, na, Janmaishwara Shudarshi, Idamananda. So these things are actually bada abhiman. They create abhiman in our heart. So, and then we repel Krishna because Krishna is great and we think we are also great. So then, like, we can't be together. Two swords cannot be in the same cover. So like that. So anyway, actually, there is so much to discuss about Uddhava, but the primary thing about Uddhava was this: that how he is just just so great because he's always wanting to be blessed and to be a servant of those who have great love for Krishna. And this also shows us how to value a person. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, am I still audible?
Yes, truly.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we should end here. Do you have any comments? Anything you wish to share? I hope it was all right, Prabhu, or it became too much.
I really like this. So I think it is very relevant. As you mentioned, he's in multiple cantos, third canto, 10th canto, 11th canto.
Yeah.
He's known by that famous verse about how Krishna gave mercy to Putna, who came to kill him. But so who will be that person who will not? Who will surrender to anyone but Krishna?
Yeah.
Yeah. That mood, did that mood come after his meeting with the gopis through that verse, who Bhukmiyam? He has already met the gopis. So, so
Actually,
that means
In the Bhagavatam, the chronology is sometimes not followed, Prabhu. Bhagavatam can be Bhagavatam because Bhagavatam, this discussion, this verse comes in the discussion between Vidura and Maitreya. So what happens is Vidura and Maitreya are definitely discussing after Krishna's departure. So not after Krishna's departure, but after the battle of, like, sometimes around the battle of Kurukshetra. So Krishna is already like very grown up and also it's difficult to say the timeline, but exact timeline is not always given in the Bhagavatam because it doesn't matter. So it's okay.
Yes, true. I remember that reading those two chapters, Krishna's pastimes outside Vrindavan, inside Vrindavan, the chapters where Uddhava is explaining the different pastimes of Krishna. And he is going into ecstasy while describing them.
Yeah,
He has to he has to he has to really made an effort to come out of it, that
yeah,
consciousness, and
yeah.
so that he could
Ac-
answer with.
It is the character of the great souls which actually truly tells us what Krishna consciousness is. More than the words of the Shastra, it is the characteristics, it is the qualities of the great souls. Therefore, Prabhupada would always quote, what is that? Mahajano yena gata sapit. That the dharma can be truly understood by the character, by the study of the life and precepts of this great souls. Like if you study the character of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you can really understand what bhakti is. Nij bhakti karam priya charu taram. He actually came to show and teach devotional service to Krishna by his own example, isn't it? I think it is in the introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Prabhupada has given uh, the entire outline of the life and the precepts of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, isn't it? So Prabhupada writes that actually, if someone studies the life and characteristics of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he'll understand Bhagavatam because this is living Bhagavat, person Bhagavat. So same thing Satsuru Maharaj writes in Prabhupada Lilamrit. He says that Prabhupada gave Srimad Bhagavatam, but even by study of the life of Prabhupada and by very closely observing his qualities, one is actually studying Bhagavatam. It's not different from Bhagavatam because there's a person Bhagavat. Yeah. So thank you.
Okay, bro, we can take if it is okay, bro, we can take 5 minutes. 5 minutes for reflections. Any other questions, reflections?
Yeah, if any devotee would like to share any points, please.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Prabhu. So probably actually you mentioned about like how they used to cook for Lord Krishna, for hundreds of years, after Krishna left Vrindavan. So I really I did not know that, and I really like that point. Like that showcase, like how they love Krishna, even it's like hundreds of years. So I mean, we in material world, like we like if somebody died, we forget them, after 5 days or 8 or 7 days. But they used to cook and pray for him, for hundreds of years. So that is really
Yeah. Yeah, that's very special. Actually, there is a lot of elaboration on that, what all they used to do. So practically 24 hours they were Krishnamaya. The word used there is Krishnamaya. They were Krishnamayi Gopi. So he saw that all of them were totally absorbed in Krishna. In fact, they were the only ones who could clearly discriminate him. You know, They were not befooled like, oh, this is Krishna only who has come. Anywhere he would go, people would think he is Krishna only, and he would have to convince them, no, no, I am not Krishna. But these guys, they never took him for Krishna, because so he understood that they have seen Krishna is like in their, in it is said that Krishna is there in the Kana, in like every particle. Krishna is there as God, but Krishna is all the more there in their heart. So much so, like just like a computer, na? If you show to a person like just two pictures looking same, computer, I mean the person will, okay, they are similar or whatever. But a computer can immediately tell you, like even a minute, like 1 millionth of the pixel may not match. Computer will say it's two different things, two different files. It's so crystal clear, right? In a moment. Similarly for gopis and for Yashoda and Nanda, they they just so this itself had amazed Uddhava right at the outset. Yeah, nobody's thinking that I am Krishna. But how could they recognize? Like I don't have to convince anyone that I am not Krishna. Because anywhere I go, they think I am Krishna only. That means they know Krishna so well. Even his form they know so well. Amazing, na bro? Dev Prasanna, bro. Yeah. Okay, bro.
Hare
Any
Krishna Prabhuji.
last? Yes,
Hare
bro.
Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you so much for that wonderful session, Prabhu. I think the main point I'm taking away is aspiration for service of devotees. And like really like the point of how you mentioned that Krishna says that whoever serves my devotees, I am like I give myself to them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Prabhu, I had one small question. So like you mentioned that Shri Uddhav, he his childhood was Krishna addicted, and like he was a very confidential. He was associate, like an associate of Lord Krishna. So when he came to Vrindavan to gopis, when Krishna sent him to the gopis to ask him to, like basically he was preaching something which was quite different, right? He was saying to forget Krishna, and I think I've not read that
See,
section, but like he was not. He was saying something I think impersonal, right?
uh, he was actually trying to pacify them that Krishna loves you and Krishna wants to come and all. So there were some exchanges which were like gopis were they were calling ill names to Krishna. That is out of love. That's a special love. That's a Vishnu Chakra Thakur says when the love reaches its pinnacle, then it is expressed by criticizing the beloved.
Mm-hmm.
So he quotes Lord Chaitanya criticizing his own devotees in Alarnath. In Alarnath, in Odisha, when Lord Chaitanya was going to South India Yatra, before that he had already tried to go to Vrindavan first time. So twice he had tried to go now. So first time when he had tried, so this Nityanand Prabhu had befooled him actually, and he brought him to Shantipur and all. So there were many episodes where they all cheated him. So Lord Chaitanya is like telling, hey, you Nityananda, you don't talk only of coming with me because you cheat me like anything, and I am not that such a fool that I'll go with you again. So he's telling many incidents, and then he's publicly criticizing Nityananda. Then I think next talks this Nityananda Prabhu, Jagdanand Pandit talks. So he Mahaprabhu says, "Arey, you are not ready to accept that I am a sannyasi. So you are giving me all these oils and soft beds and cushions and all the luxurious facilities. So many times I told I am a sannyasi, and if I accept, then my dharma is broken. If I don't accept your gifts, then you become so unhappy, so angry. You become like, you are breaking all the things around you. You are creating such a big mess that I have to pacify you. I have to come to your home for peace. When I come to your home and I eat how much I want to eat, then you become upset. Then I have to eat so much, you know. So, you are always creating a mess in my life. So you don't think only that I'll take you. Like that, Prabhu is talking to one devotee. So actually, he is glorifying their love in the highest degree, because that, like, when the love reaches its pinnacle, Vishnu Chakra Thakur says it comes out like that. In Bhishma Dev section, he says that Bhishma's arrows were hitting Krishna's body because they were skipping Arjuna. So the blood which was coming out of Krishna's body. So he says that when husband and wife or two lovers are enjoying sexual pleasure, so sometimes they bite each other, their bodies, and sometimes that may create pain, or even sometimes little blood may come out. But he says that actually the lovers like that. That is the greatest ecstasy in world. So he says similarly that the devotees delight when Krishna calls them ill names, and Krishna delights. There is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita where Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami quotes that Krishna says, I love chastisement of the gopis when I steal butter from their home. When they chastise me, I love it much more than all the Vedic hymns and all the worship of the Brahmanas, all the offerings of the sacrifices. I don't care much about that. I want gopis chastisement. Because he says the love which is there in that, the gopis consider me their property, and Brahmanas are only saluting me. So actually, I'm far better. I would prefer far more to be a Bhratti Vatsala rather than to be a Bhratti Vashya rather than to be a god of acceptance of all sacrifices and worships and services. So the exchanges were there. There were many exchanges like this between this Uddhava and Brajvasis. If you want, you can read that book. It's not a very big book. It's like teachings of Kunti Maharani. That kind of book. It's in blue color. It's called as When Mathura Meets Vrindavan. It's in red color, I think, red or blue. When Mathura Meets Vrindavan by Gaur Govind Maharaj. Yeah, it's quite intense, bro. Yeah,
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
thank you. I think we'll end here, bro. Now it's really quite hard. But thank you for all of your time. Hare Krishna.
Mohan Prabhu ki jai.
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 Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.